medic. You're checked into SEAL Team 4. The fact that you just said, everybody's already done what I've done, plus more. I mean, that just what you've done already by age 21 is fucking impressive. And to have that attitude going in, I mean, that's kudos to you. Because that's very real.
Yeah.
You show up, you think you're the shit, and then every single person at that team has already done every fucking thing you've done.
Exactly.
Tenfold.
Exactly. And when I first showed up there, yeah, us new guys were like on top of the world. It didn't really hit home until we saw these seasoned fucking war fighters coming in the doors. Like, okay,
yeah,
maybe we need to step the fuck back,
yeah,
humble ourselves a little bit. And it did. It's not like we're really arrogant, but we just got to see it and just really like, okay, we know our place. We need to prove ourselves now.
Were you glad you knew you were going to combat?
Yeah.
Right off the bat?
Yeah, I was glad because that's what we did. That's what we trained to do. I mean, I think I'm lucky, and I'm grateful that I had be able to have that opportunity, even as my first pump, be able to go to war. I mean, not many SEALs, even some of the older SEALs that were in my platoon, could even say that.
Yeah.
So that was even rare at that time.
Yeah.
Most guys, my LPO at the time has never even been in combat.
Oh shit.
His whole career, so guys going to combat was far from in between. It's kind of luck of the draw. So I was very grateful and lucky to be a part of that platoon.
I mean, that was a very interesting time in the teams. I feel like post 9/11 up to about that point, because there really wasn't a whole hell of a lot going on between Vietnam and 9/11. A couple things here and there. And it created a lot of animosity in the community between the older guys and the newer guys who were coming in and going straight to fucking combat. And other guys, I mean, some guys have retired out of there, and
right.
Never got a chance to do that. But you went right there. Do you feel like you were ready?
I feel like after workup, everything up to that point, I was. Definitely, my mind was right. I wanted to go. I felt confident. I felt comfortable with being a part of the platoon. It felt solid. At first, I thought I was going to Iraq and was all geared up for that, and then I ended up switching troops.
Okay.
I needed a medic, and then I'm going to Afghanistan.
You switched troops or switched platoons. They needed a medic, which means you're the fucking primary medic as a new guy going to Afghanistan. Correct?
Yeah.
That's a shit ton of responsibility. How do you think you handled that?
I felt I handled it pretty good. I mean, I was mentored up by solid individuals in my original platoon. Solid medics, senior medics, and older guys, because there was only like 5 of us new guys. The majority of the platoon was all senior guys that had, multiple combat, or if not just one. So seasoned. And they brought us up right, and definitely gave me the confidence to fucking succeed and do my job well. And that's how I felt. I mean, I was actually a little bummed and torn that I had to leave my platoon, but then at the same time, I was like really excited to go to Afghanistan because that was a spot.
At what point in the workup did you switch platoons?
At the very end, I was done with workup.
So you just spent a year and a half proving yourself to a new team, only to get removed, put in another new team, where you have to prove yourself as a new guy again, and you're the fucking primary medic. I mean,
yeah, me and 2 other guys.
Those are some big shoes to fill.
It was intimidating because I didn't know anybody besides. There's 2 other guys that came with me, the snipers. One was a sniper, so they kind of were a buffer, a little conduit.
They were a little more protective.
Yeah,
of their new guy.
I was their new guy. I knew some of the new guys they had, but yeah, same thing. I had to prove myself because they didn't know who I was. They had my other guys kind of vouching for me, but same token, I still got to prove myself.
How do you think your dad felt when he found out? I mean, he gave you the pamphlet to become a SEAL. You become a SEAL. Now you're getting ready to go out the door and do this shit for real?
Yeah, it's honestly hard to say because I never asked him how he really truly felt, but I'm sure he was nervous because I did tell him up front. I thought about just like lying and just bullshitting my parents and telling them where I was just going to make up, just say I was going to Europe or something just to be fine, I'll be good, I'll be able to call you whenever. That crossed my mind, but at the end of the day, I was like, no, I'm just going to tell them where I'm actually going because this is what I signed up to do. I felt it was right. I mean, what do you expect? We're Navy SEALs. This is what we do.
Yeah.
We go to war and handle it. But I'm sure he was nervous. And he was excited because I actually doing what I wanted to do, what I love to do. But I'm also certain that he was probably scared shitless. I know my mom was.
Yeah. Did you try to shelter him from what was actually happening?
Yeah. I kept it vague.
Yeah.
I didn't go to nitty gritty. And I kept it very vague. I said I was going to Afghanistan. That was it. I didn't say like where. Obviously I didn't tell them really what I was doing. Even when I was there and I called them, emailed them, or even I tried to call them once in a while on the sat phone. We got to call them. I just didn't even talk about what the hell I was doing. It's more of this, how's it going? I'm good. You hear my voice, like I'm doing well, type of conversation.
Yeah. It's funny. You lose almost all emotional communication.
Yeah.
Somewhere along that pipeline, it seems like almost all guys do. There's no more sense of emotion.
Yeah, you put up a shield, like not really realizing it. It just happens innately because it's work. You got to. It's all business. You can't bring emotion into it, and you can't. And I didn't want to do that to my family. Like they're gonna be worried sick.
Yeah.
Like putting undue stress on themselves because I'm over there. I didn't want that to happen. So I'm sure it still did anyway, but I didn't want to fuel that fire.
You're getting ready to leave for combat as a brand new medic to Afghanistan with your new platoon as a new guy. Going back to your dad, who you're extremely close with, do you think his mindset changed at all? Did he get worried that you were, now that it became very real, like, hey, Dad, I'm going to Afghanistan for 6 to 9 months?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, at the time, they didn't really express their worries to me that much because they wanted me to remain focused. But I knew, because after the fact I spoke to them, but I knew the stress was high. They definitely were worried. I'd say more fear of the unknown, for them at least, because I was the first one in the immediate family going in the military, and they have no experience of anyone in their family going in the military. So this is all new to everybody.
So out in your family, you're the first one that's going in the military, and you're going to war at the highest level.
Exactly, and they knew I want to be doing some things.
I want to take a call, and I have your dad on the line, Jim. Hey, Jim, how's it going? This is Shawn Ryan.
Hey, Shawn.
I've got your son sitting here, and we're talking about right before he leaves on his first combat deployment at SEAL Team 4 as a new guy, and I was wondering if you have any questions you'd like to ask him.
Hey, Travis.
Hey, Dad.
I do, actually. I remember the day he called me to kind of say goodbye to me when he was getting ready to head out for that deployment. I wondered just how he felt when he landed in Afghanistan after all the years of training for that and everything that led up to that moment. I know it was a big deal for him. He's been thinking about it ever since high school, and I was just always curious how he really felt when he actually landed in Afghanistan with his team for that first deployment.
How I felt about it?
Yep.
I mean, I was scared. I was talking to Shawn about this. I was definitely nervous as hell. I think those nerves turned into more with the excitement and the motivation, but definitely scared as shit because I knew exactly. I was doing it for real. I mean, I wasn't going to Europe or South America. I was actually going to war. All that training and hard work coming to fruition finally. I couldn't even figure. It's hard for me to even explain into words to, obviously, you guys what I was going to be doing, but I kind of just in the back of my mind hoped that you understood, or at least somewhat understood, what I was actually going to do.
No, I for sure did. Yeah, it was emotional day for me when you said goodbye. But
Jim, I got a question for you. So you were really supportive of Travis going into the SEAL teams and doing that job. How did it feel for you when he checked into SEAL Team 4 and you realized, holy shit, my son's going straight to combat after we've already been at war for 7 years?
yeah, no, it was definitely an emotional day for me. I still remember that call clearly. I didn't want to let on to him how emotional it was for me, actually, but it was a big deal. But I know he was so driven. That's all he ever thought about and worked hard towards, so I was just so proud of him. But at the same time, I was definitely nervous too, when he was going to Afghanistan and didn't really know what would happen. Actually, didn't know when I'd actually talk to him again because I knew he'd be going on missions, and he said he would check in when he could. I just never knew when that would be, so it was definitely a real emotional day for me with that last call.
How was that 6-month deployment for you as a father? Was that compared to all the other time in your life? Would you say that was probably one of the most stressful moments of your entire life?
Yes, it was a stressful 6 months, especially the first 2 or 3 months. I heard from them very seldom, and pretty much every day you're thinking about your son being over there and having no idea what they're up to. So as a parent, it's tough. It's tough. But at the same time, you can't be more proud of them.
Yeah.
So
That's a difficult
it's definitely emotional. I can
dynamic.
emotional now even talking about it. It's crazy. It's been years now, so it's like crazy to think about it, but it was a big deal.
You got anything
I'm blown away.
You got anything for your dad?
No, I mean, I'm glad that I guess after you saying that, you had a good mindset about it. Because at the time, I was giving him vague information. Because I didn't know either. I mean, I didn't know when the hell I was about to even call or what type of connectivity I was going to have there, etc. Or I kind of had an idea. I knew what we were doing, but I didn't know how important or much we were going to be doing. So it was even hard and difficult to me explain to my family what I was getting to. And I purposely didn't. I kept it vague. I said, hey, this is where I'm going. I actually almost thought about lying and be like, I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to go to Europe. I'm going to Europe for 6 months. I'll call you when I get there or something. Just keep it really vague and keep it comfortable. But at the end of the day, I felt like I would be doing a disservice. I'd be like, no, this is where I'm going.
Yeah.
So this is what I do.
We were always proud of him. He definitely worked his ass off to get there. And, even through high school, he was driven to be a SEAL. He got in the buzz. He used to call me and tell me, Dad, I'm never going to quit. They're never going to break me. He proved us right there. So I knew he was a driven young man, and, he couldn't be more proud of him.
Jim, I got one last question for you before we jump off the line here.
Yep.
What made you hand Travis the brochure on being a Navy SEAL?
You remember that?
The way Travis always talked, he just wanted to, to be something special, make a difference in the world. I just saw the drive in him, and I felt like just the drive it would take to actually become a SEAL would, test him to push him through all the limits he could be pushed through. So I just knew that was up his alley. Just the way he would talk about what he wanted to do in life. I've just never seen a person more driven at such a young age. I thought, well, I think this could be perfect for him with the drive that he has. This is exactly what I think might be his calling.
Wow, so you knew he was going to make it right off the bat.
I did. It just was amazing. I mean, literally, I don't want to go too much of it, but even through high school, his buddies would be out parties the weekends. He'd begin up early doing ocean swims, beach runs. I mean, he was doing buzz training while he was in high school. I mean, he wanted to be a scuba diver when he was 16. I said, all right, let's do it. He was like training for buzz all through high school. And I just saw the drive in him. And so I said, this is his calling. I just saw it.
Where do you think he got his drive from?
I guess maybe as a young dad, maybe he saw how I always just was pushing and make sure we made it in life together. Because I was 20 years old when he was born.